Hello to all my people, and if you're watching live, checking us out on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botched and Chair Shots. We still have high hopes of delivering quality wrestling content, but if not, we'll sprinkle in some of the biggest indie stars from the Northeast and RN, so we still get over. I'm your host, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the Will Gray, and tonight, my people, I am so hyped for that journey. Tonight, that journey is our Mount Rushmore of people of color. Remember, here at Botched and Chair Shots, we call it in the ring from all the angles. Joining me tonight is the reigning IWA Breakthrough Champion. He is one quarter of the hottest stable in the Northeast. If you're going to be bad, you got to be bougie. And he, my people, is both. He is the baddest. He is J Boujii. Jay, thanks for coming back on to chat about some wrestling, brother. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you for having PJ here. Thank you for having us, man.
Also joining me tonight is representing another quarter of the takeover. He is the reigning IWA heavyweight and Invictus Climb for Clout briefcase holder. He is the most savage wrestler in pro wrestling. He is PJ Savage. PJ, thanks for coming back on, brother.
What's up, man? It's always an honor to be on the show. Thank you for having us on. Boss Shots, Share Shots, man. It's always a takeover. You know what it is, baby. Thank you.
And rounding out the group tonight is the Kennel Master himself. He is the brains, bronze, and looks of the Smacked Raw family, but most importantly, he is the Devon to my Bubba Ray. He is RN. RN, how are you, man?
What's good, y'all? Shit, I guess the break's over if the takeover's here. Let's do it.
That's how it's going.
Yeah.
Good, I'm hyped. So, gentlemen, RN's done this a few times, and I'll ask you guys the same way. I'm going to lead him off. RN, what has you pissed off for greatness tonight in pro wrestling, man?
All these motherfuckers are jumping back on WWE's dick just because Vince is gone. Like, nah, bruh. Don't worry about Triple H, what he doing. Y'all niggas, none of y'all motherfuckers was down with Triple H before. Everybody, he fucked his way into the company, blah, 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 blah. Keep that same energy when the King of Kings takes the WWE to where it should be. But nah, stay where you're on y'all side of the thing. Because everybody, if you listen to the show, you know that's my favorite wrestler. He's the GOAT to me. And wait till he gets his hands on something on like Carmelo and even whack-ass Braun. Wait till he gets his hands on these dudes and gives them real direction and that real old school shit behind their new school feel. It's just to the moon. But stay on your side of the block. Keep that he married into the family shit over there. Don't be jumping back on the fence now. That's what I'm pissed off about. That's a mild one, but it wasn't really shit going on. I'm just hyping my niggas back because I love Triple H. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. He's the GOAT to me. Say nothing less. Say the ass for your mama. I don't give a shit. That's my guy.
I like him.
I like him.
PJ, what has you pissed off for greatness?
Man, what doesn't have me pissed off with wrestling now, man? As a wrestler myself, I'm just going to say it. Fuck the next in line program.
You have to say it.
Just fuck it. You know why? And I'm going to just leave it here because there's something else I'm pissed about too. More just on the fan side of it. But just like, I feel like the next in line program, now they're picking people from college, like the tryouts all over my social media. I was just looking at it. And it's basically like before 6-7 years ago when I decided to become a professional wrestler, it was looked down upon if you went to college. It was looked down upon if you went to school, if you did anything. If you didn't just give your whole life to professional wrestling, you would looked at like differently, like, no, you don't belong in this business. And now all of a sudden it's completely different. Now that I go the route that you tell me to go, the William Regal was telling everybody on the indies, you have to go out, you have to get exposure, fuck school, go out, do your thing, go do your thing. And now that I'm doing it, now it's wrong. And now I'm not a WWE guy. I'm going to be the best guy they've ever seen in their fucking life. Excuse my language.
It's perfectly fine. That's why I keep the E.
Talk that talk.
Yeah.
You just have to give the chance, and like give guys like me and Boujii a chance to shine in it. We'll take NXT to a whole nother level. Pun intended. A whole nother level. There's a reason why we call ourselves Takeover. It's in the name, bro. We're born and bred from that era. It's what made us hungry. Give us a shot. How about that? But you know what? That's one of the things. I'm gonna let Boujii go off because he's gonna go off. One of the things, I'm just sick and tired of AEW, man.
This is new.
Let it go. PJ, tell me, why are you pissed off with AEW, bro?
I've had an undisclosed injury, so I've been sitting at home watching. Been sitting at home watching a lot of stuff, studying. And AEW fucking sucks. The booking is just all over the place. Like, there's a story mode that doesn't go anywhere. There's always a Jericho storyline that
Talk that talk.
like it's always the same fucking thing. It's just the same thing over and over again. Like watching Daniel Garcia beat Daniel Bryan almost broke my fucking TV. It was like, what the hell? Like he just comes back from concussion, loses to him like over a hand under the apron, and just it's for me. Look, we all love old ECW. We all love it. It was a lot of not that many storylines. Some storylines fit in, but there was always one overarching storyline. And I feel like that's completely gone from AEW. It's just gone. The whole AEW storyline is either MJF is pissed or somebody's hurt and has to leave the company for a while, and interim this and interim that and forbidden door and forbidden door that. And it's like, can I get a genuine storyline that goes?
They just overthink everything. That's my biggest complaint with everything they fucking do. They overthink the booking. They overthink the finishes. They overthink the fucking debuts. Like they just always have to put that little bit of fucking extra that nobody fucking wants to see. But these fucking marks that make us look bad as wrestling fans just fucking gobble that shit down like a bitch that's drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I hate their fans. Their fans are worse than Cowboy fans. You can't criticize them. It's always their year. You know what I'm saying? Like, just it makes no. I think if people would just take a step fucking back, and we've been hating on WWE so much that they never like just look at what AEW actually is at their core. They're a fucking indie promotion that's badly booked with shitty fucking show quality and everything, but because it is what it is, they don't want to fucking just admit that's what it is.
Look, and I'm a wrestler. I'm in those locker rooms. I'm in there with some of these wrestlers. I'm in there in some of these locker rooms with some of these guys from AEW. And one of the things that's very similar from what I've been going through and what I see in the AEW product, like you said, the overthinking of the finishes and the matches and the overthinking of the segments. There's too many egos at play. You could tell one guy's like, I gotta look strong. How can everybody look strong? It's professional wrestling. You gotta do your fucking job. Somebody's gotta look bad. That's the story of a come up. Somebody has to look great. That you both have to do your job. Not everybody could come out looking clean as a whistle. Like the whole Hook and Ricky Stark shit. Like this came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Hook is FTW champion. My man had the lip when he grabbed the belt. And it was just like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, I don't understand.
Well, my thing with Hook, too, is like, I love Hook. Like, I get it. But, like, the kid's still 27 pounds, 16 years old. And he's, like, dunking niggas on their head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, I know I'm supposed to suspend disbelief, and I get it.
And can we talk about how
it's like...
And can we talk about how the FTW title hasn't meant anything since 1998 anyways? It's been bouncing around between 4 different promotions, kind of being a title. It's kind of like the Outlaw title.
Only 3 people have held it. It's been bouncing around, but only 3 people have actually held it. It's
Bro, Ricky Stark cut that promo after he lost the belt, talking about he brought it to new prestigious. Homie, you didn't even defend it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where is this coming from? Like, Jesus Christ. Look, hold on. And I got to gripe Ricky Stark. Bro, you've been cutting all these fucking promos. I don't give a fuck if he sees it. I don't care if I shit locker room one day with him. He cuts these promos, and he puts this vein in the middle of his forehead, and he does this. He does that Randy Orton shit he saw in the Evil documentary, and he thinks he's cutting a great promo. Stop fucking copying Randy Orton. Get off his dick, man. That's not a great promo. Watch what does. That's a great fucking promo. We got levels to this shit, bro. We don't just look like we taking a shit when we grab the mic. I'm sorry.
And the fucking pose that like he's about to do the moonwalker. You know what I'm saying? Like that Andy, are you okay shit pose without the hat. Like that's I'm with y'all. And there's so many people in AEW that I love and I want to watch, but it's just like it's so fucking shitty to me. Like even with the Blackpool shit, how that came along and like how they're world beaters and shit, but like they're not really. And then like William Regal's supposed to be their manager, but the niggas on fucking commentary every time. It's like everything is just like so fucking disjointed. Like the ideas are there and the ideas are fucking awesome, but the execution is trash.
There's Ring of Honor shit with Claudio winning the Ring of Honor title was a little weird, man.
That shit was that pissed me off so bad. I've been begging and pleading for Gresham to get there on the big stage. And that's how they do, my man. Like,
not for nothing. You got a guy that's carrying the flag like he did for ROH.
That's my main thing. Like, he couldn't have got a fucking lights out entrance like the rest of these bums from WWE that was in the mid card that they were giving it to. Like, come on. Like he's literally been carrying the flag for a company for over a year. Because even when they were on TV, they were asked. The only reason why you would tune in was to watch the foundation. And then on top of that, why did they keep them as a fucking unit?
Hold on, and then the Tully Branches shit.
Yeah, like out of
Tully
nowhere.
Branches Enterprises, and then all of a sudden, Ring of Honor pay-per-view, Tully Blanche is not with Ring of Honor, and now it's Prince Nana.
Yeah.
So just turn this shit off. Like, what's going on here?
They did my man so dirty, bro. We just talked about that on our show, The Rewind. They did my man so dirty. That shit was garbage.
Well, the AEW thing, I think that's the quintessential example of when the inmates run the asylum. It's when everybody gets a say, everybody has an idea, everybody gets to do their thing. I'm an AEW fan for the most part until they start doing the bullshit. When they do that stuff, I'll call them for them. I'm a Ricky Starks guy. I hate to say it. I know you guys had some good points, but I think a lot of his pros that he has are the same things we praise somebody like Adam Cole for. He's a good talker. He's a good worker. Does he turn it up to 11 sometimes when he only needs to be at 8? Yes. Does he need to moonwalk on the top rope when he's doing the old school thing? Probably not. But like he's, but he can at least work in a time when there's not too many super great workers at the highest level right now.
Yeah, nah, and I don't knock him. I got respect for Ricky. Like he's a great worker. He's amazing. Like he garnered the respect he deserves. But I feel like this. The last thing I'm gonna say on this. I feel like Cody had a great point when he did his interview after he left WWE. He's like the most overused term in AEW is over. Right. And I feel like if you walk through the crowd or you go through that entrance and the crowd reacts to you or they sing your theme song or they play along with whatever you do, you're automatically classified as over there. And like Cody said, you got to garner that over years. Like that's years of getting your fan base to.
Marco Stunt is over in AEW. Like that's all you got to say. Marco Stunt is over in AEW.
Boujii, you're up, man. What has you pissed off for greatness?
Shit. I mean, these guys here, they just PG is like how PG was. That's usually me. So like, I don't even know how to be me right now. But to kind of. He said like I was gonna say the next in line. The next in line it bothers me because it's like PJ says, like if you my whole thing is like if you really want to do something, bro, you're gonna dedicate your time to that. You feel me? Like I went to college, bro. I did 1 year in college, and during that 1 year in college, I literally sat down in my room and I made a choice whether I was gonna take basketball seriously or choose to be a professional wrestler. I chose to be a professional wrestler, and when I made that decision, I said to myself, I'm going to dedicate the next 4 years of my life just to wrestling to see where I'm going to be at. I wasn't 1 foot in wrestling and then trying to go to school, then trying to do this and trying to do that because I already knew what I was getting myself into. To a certain degree, prior to me meeting PJ, being trained by Johnny Rods, and everyone was like, you got to dedicate. I already had that determination in me. I already had that will to want to do this in me. I never once thought like, okay, well, I'm gonna do soccer or some other shit. Like once I decide I'm gonna be a professional wrestler, I'm gonna do it. So it's hard for me to sit here and to take these long ass fucking drives, bro, deal with these carny ass indie promoters. We're putting the money back in the house, or your envelope slide, or hand you an envelope with nothing inside of it because they forgot or some shit, bro. Like I'm dealing with all this shit, but since this guy's gonna go to fucking Duke, you think he's gonna be a Class A superstar? Like anyone can wrestle, bro. You can teach anyone to wrestle, but you can't teach people to be stars, bro. And that's what we are. Like, we are stars, bro. Like, we're putting the work in right now to be the guy who wants to carry your company. You feel me? Like, we're not doing this shit because it's lit on Instagram. We're doing this shit on TikTok, Twitter, all that type of stuff. And then for you to have an entire section, right, on your www.recruit.com that says college applicants and then other applicants is crazy. Like, that's crazy, bro. And that shit gets me mad. Like, like when they first announced it, Twitter tried to ratio me. People's like, oh, you're gatekeeping, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm not gatekeeping. It's just more so, why are you slapping us in the face when we the guys who dedicate this shit every weekend, every day, saying that this is what we want to do? But, yeah, because Roman went to college, he played football, Goldberg, Big E, Bianca, all them. Like, that's not guaranteeing you these guys here making a whole fucking program around is going to give you that same thing. You saying fuck the indies? Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, that is wild.
To me, though, a lot of that is a response to AEW signing up every fucking big name indie star. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then them trying to turn away from that, too. And it was kind of like a fuck you to Triple H as well. how he just completely they just burnt down
Triple H
fucking. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They completely burnt down the whole NXT, which was them taken from the Indies, and I think that's what a lot of that was them trying to get back to their old ways. They completely washed out everything that Triple H built. You know what I'm saying? And really, AEW washed out the Indies, especially for the top tier talent. So they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go this other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's it was a lot of shitty shit to go into it. And again, that's what big corporations are. They don't give a fuck about the little guy. They only care about what makes them look good. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's about making them look good and trying to make money, bro. It's
right. That's that too. Bro. Right.
And I feel like you said with AEW, especially what they did over the pandemic, where it's like you had AEW Dark and guys that wear on the exact same shows on. Literally, right. We wrestled them Sunday, they're on Dark Wednesday or some shit, bro. And they're putting all them on there, and then you got WWE is only taking college athletes, and it's like if you're not there with the guys that's like the top tier guys who people go crazy for, you're not the college athlete, and you got guys like myself and PJ who we're performers, bro. You feel me? Like we're wrestlers. Like we got trained by the best fucking trainer out here. Like I don't care what anybody else says. So now it puts us in a weird ass position because we don't fit those molds, bro.
Yeah,
right.
Another thing too, like to add to what John's saying, that AEW Dark shit, I could tell you from firsthand experience. I had wrestlers from AEW tell me, well, if you're not really cool with homie, you're not getting in.
Facts.
We were just trained, like we're just guys that like we're top tier talent, but no one looks at us because we're not cool with nobody, and we're not
because you're black.
Yeah,
because you're black and color, people of color. That's what I call it. Like I've always called
scary too. So like we the hood, like they stay far away from us. So
that's why I don't fuck with AEW. That's my main reason. That all that diversity bullshit they talk just because Cody's wife was black. They ain't fucking did nothing as far as diversity. There ain't never no black people in the title contention. There ain't never no black people at the top of the card. They're always in some dumbass stable or some shit. Well, at least we got Swerve in our glory. But again, they're a fucking tag team and both of them should be in some sort of title shit. And all the other good black people are on Dark and Elevation. Like I've had this conversation with our other like shows and shit. Like I'm not gonna prop them up and give them props because they have fucking what's her name? Nyla Rose, which that's dope. I get that, but besides her, show me what other fucking diversity y'all have on that show. She's been gone for how long? She just came back a few weeks ago. So it's a bunch of white dudes and a couple niggas you throw in there every once in a while.
Let me ask you guys a question. When y'all were training with Johnny Rods, he was a guy who came up in the WWE at a point when there wasn't a lot of people of color who were super over. He also came through the NWA at the same time when it was Junkyard Dog, Rod Simmons. There's a lot of the guys we'll probably be talking about here soon. What did you take away from him when you had the opportunity to learn from a guy who was going through the same struggles and issues, but during a time when civil rights were at the forefront, when he was coming up in the late 70s, the mid 70s, like that stuff was hard. What was it like coming up with somebody like that?
I could tell you from there was one conversation I remember with him specifically, and I think PJ was there. It's probably me, you, and a couple other guys, but it was kind of a bit more like tailored to like me in a sense, because it's like obviously like I see the complexion I am. I'm black. I see what's going on, and he pretty much saying there's gonna come a point, and that point came this past year where it's like you're gonna have to deal with some shit that it would not happen if it wasn't you. You feel me? You're a male and you're a black man, so it's like you're gonna deal with a lot of things people are gonna throw at you, and you can't give them that type of reaction. Like there was someone I can't remember who it was who was in WWE. And he didn't like his merchandise. He felt like it was racist or something like I can't remember what it was, and he just went crazy on Twitter. And
I was ACH.
Yeah, bro. And basically from that, he's saying there's a certain way you handle business. Like you're a professional at that point. You're a businessman. You can't react that way on social media and try and out them that way because that's just what they want. You're gonna get up out of here. They're gonna do whatever they gotta do to give you the boot. You feel me? You handle that in a different way, and it sucks to say that we have to handle that in a different way because of the complexion that we are. Now, if I was 6'9", blonde, white dude, everything like that, I could go crazy on there, and the PR team gonna reach out to me like, "Hey, we're sorry about that. Let's work on the next thing. Let's work on something together." And it's like, if I go crazy on Twitter, just me being who I am, I'm gonna get fucking blackballed. I'm gonna get shunned, all this type of stuff. So like he put me on early to that, and just paying attention, like knowing the towns you're going to, always get gas before you're done, because you don't want to be driving into somewhere and then you got to go to some racist spot that which done happened to him where they ain't want to serve it. I forgot who's in the car with him, but it was like, oh, you got him in there. We're like, we not servicing you. So you feel me? You don't want to leave nothing up to chance. It's pretty much what he was saying. Is like, it's just different for you. You gotta just move different. It's crazy.
And one of the things I always took away from him was he always taught me there was real world and there's wrestling world, and you have to differentiate the two. And you almost have to live a life that is just solely dedicated to that wrestling world. And Boujii knows this. He tells me all the time, bro, sometimes I need to be the human, but sometimes I'm too much of a wrestler. And I'm trying to embed that in my mind, because I know there's going to be so many times where I'm going to be in that situation like John described, where I'm going to want to hurt this man because he's out of pocket, because he's being racist, because he's doing some crazy shit. But I need to make a living. Now, when I get to that part where I'm on that Brock level, where I could go crazy because no one can take away what I earned. When I'm multiple time WWE champion, I got contract after contract, I got millions in the bank account, then I could fight for myself. But even then, like, you could look to a degree, even, I'm sorry to say, but Sasha, like, it looked like even to a degree, some of your accolades don't even matter. You can't fight me. It's that hard. It's almost like what you want. You want the legacy, or you want your pride. And it sucks, but I feel like that plays a role into like every part of society.
Well, that's what I was going. I live in one of those towns that y'all are talking about. It is a one horse and buggy fucking town, 2 one-way roads in and out. Like, and sometimes I gotta remember, like, because my kids are here, like I'm a coach and shit and everything. I face in those situations where somebody called me a nigga on the sideline. I'm coaching his son. You know what I'm saying? So it's like same thing. Like I gotta swallow some of that shit sometimes and realize that it's not just me. My kids are here. My son plays here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is. We always got to pick the greater good over our own pride. And that's just with people of color in general. Like, we're always behind that fucking 8 ball, because we're always, if we react and try and stand up for ourselves, we're the angry niggas. If we don't do nothing, we're pussies or we're Uncle Toms. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always, we're always put in a fucking position. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that sucks. Like, and that's what I'm trying to teach my son. Like, you got to be able to move through every crowd, white, black, whatever. You got to be able to move through everywhere, because that's the only way you can survive as a black man in America.
Word. And it's funny because this past weekend I had a show Friday. We was at the Hamburg Fieldhouse, and this guy comes up to me. He's being real condescending, bro. And I don't know why he thought he could come up to us and like give us advice, and just, that's one thing I hate. Like, everyone, you're not that guy to come up to be like, hey, brother, do this and do that. Just stay the fuck over there, bro. Like, don't talk to me. Especially if you don't watch my shit. If you don't really know who we are, something you want to come over here and try and say, like, the fuck out of here. So he's calling us like he's just calling us names of other like notable like wrestling figures. So he said I look like some other guy. He said my man's Jocko look like someone. He said face like someone. So I'm like, yo, bro, I don't look like him. Like, stop. Like, what is wrong? He's like, no, yes you do. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm not like, and then I'm sitting there and it's like, this is my first time here. I gotta relax because like I want to fire off. I'm like, yo, bro, like, fuck on out of here with that, bro. And it's just like, and then someone else said to me, bro, that's racist. So you know something? He's like, yeah, that's racist. Like, you don't look alike, bro. We don't at all. And he's saying, then he said to my man's that I forgot who he is, bro. It was just racist. It was just so, it's like, bro, just shut up, just stop talking. And it's like, you gotta just sit there and deal with that. And then I had a situation, PJ know, where it's like there was this one, it was this kid in the crowd, white young man, white kid, and he said that I hit him, that like I physically assaulted him, and his family came to the show every week for like a month saying the same thing over and over and over. It wasn't until the end of it that one of my other friends, workers that we work with, he went up to him, confronted, like, hey, what happened? The kid admitted to lying. Like, admitted and said that he lied. He said, you never touched me. What happened was that I threw my belt over my shoulder and it hit him like on the finger. Some shit. I don't know, but like I never hit him. Then the owner of the place is like, oh, can you go out there and apologize? You know, I'm like, nah, like, you know, we already handled it. He said he lies. Like, oh, but can you just apologize? He's crying. I'm like, no, I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do. And then like he fucking blew up. He just going crazy, and it's just like, what type of message and what type of teaching are we doing here? As me, as a black young man, you want me to go over there and apologize to a white young kid and his white family for lying after he admitted that he lied? Like, come on, bro. Like people, we done got killed for that shit, bro.
Literally.
Like, you feel me? So it's like for you to be like so like tone deaf to it and to just be so blind to with your privilege, wherever the case may be, and to go ask me as a man, you feel me? Because like my great grandfather was the primary man in my life. He was very big on telling me about respect, how to carry myself as a black young man, just teach me everything that I had to know about. So I feel like I had no wrong to go out there and be like, I'm gonna say sorry for that, because he tell me I'm tripping, so I'm not gonna go do that. And then the even crazier part is that there was another altercation where someone said something to another performer that was derogatory, and it was towards like his sexual orientation, and it was handled with immediately. And it's like, why couldn't you give me that same support? You want me to go out there and just, say, oh yeah, I'm sorry after I lied? So it goes back to that story where I'm thinking in my head where Johnny's like, you have to just deal with shit. You gotta just deal with shit. You gotta be there. And there was a said notable wrestling figure there, and he's like, stuff like this happens in the locker rooms. Your boy gotta be able to keep himself calm and do stuff like that. And we already knew this shit because this is what Johnny told us. This is someone that's signed to a very high company right now, and he's saying that company is the exact same way, and this is the type of shit that I'm gonna have to deal with eventually. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
All right, gentlemen. Let's hop into some news and rumors real quick. I'm going to read off a news headline, and I want you guys to give me your 30 to 60 second snip on how you feel about what I say. First one is, what is your hype level for SummerSlam? 2 days away. We've had some changes in the card. What do you think is going on right now with SummerSlam? Like, how hyped are you for the show?
Go ahead, fellas.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm about a 2. It was Saturday. I'm more hyped for that UFC fight that's on Saturday. But to be honest with you, there's not that much going on. I mean, with Triple H, I think that's the more interesting factor for a lot of people. It's what's the direction? What's Monday Night Raw going to be like? I know he took Seth and Riddle off the card, and there's like a lot of hoopla going around on that. I feel like he's closing out a lot of those Vince storylines, and I'm just excited to see when Triple H's shit is going to start up. I like Triple H's bookings. You see his segments go for like 1 hour. The opening segment goes into the finishing hour. So I like this booking. So I'll be interested in the future. But SummerSlam,
for me, I want to say I think it's 6 or 7, just because I like SummerSlam. I like the summer pay-per-view. Is always one of my favorite ones to watch. I am interested in, like PJ said, about like what's gonna happen. Like, is anything gonna happen where it's like, okay, like, could it give a guy like me a sense of hope, Like, could it give the indie guys out here like a sense of hope where it's like, okay, is anything going to change tonight, or even going into Monday Night Raw? Interested to see with the whole Roman and Brock situation. I'm always interested in that, because that man got it right now. Like, if you look at all performance, bro, and this is just how like PJ and I are, like, we like to look at guys who's like on top, bro. Feel me? Like, PJ been calling out the Samoan Dynasty forever. Like forever, bro. You feel me? Like, he called Jacob Fatu a bitch. Like, hey, you big bitch. Let's fight. Let's do all of this stuff. You feel me? And then I might say, hey, Lance, I might smack the shit out of you when I see you one day. Any of that type of stuff. We might just say anything. But to that point is like, we look at the top. We try to tell the stories now. Like PJ says, he wants to say he took out all of them. Then he facing Roman at Mania. That's beautiful and all. And let's say, who knows? Maybe I got money in the bank at that time and I cash in on both them bitches and I'll take the belt off of them. Who knows? But you feel me? But yeah. SummerSlam, no, it's interesting. I would say I'm interested in seeing it.
All right.
No, I was only excited for Riddle versus Seth, for real. Those are like my 2 favorite people. So like, now that shit's gone, like it's all right. Like PJ said, like, I'm just waiting on to see what the Triple H era looks like and when exactly is it going to start. Like, because I don't think we'll be able to feel it until we know we're like in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's going to be anything drastic or whatever. Series is when that's what I was thinking. Like, because you know how they are. They already got shit planned out for God knows how long. Yeah. So, and Triple H he's not that type of person. I don't see him coming in just like blazing shit out like they did him. So like, I'm interested to see when exactly it starts and like when we get to start feeling, you know what I'm saying, that his hands on everything. But so yeah, I'm at like a 3 or 4 for it.
He's probably gonna even keep some of the old stuff that's going on and just
right. He's gonna just make his tweaks to it or whatever.
I'm hyped for SummerSlam because I'm going to be there. I'm a little bit pissed that they're changing the card week of with kayfabe injuries. Like, why take a match off the card for a written in storyline injury? Make that storyline happen after the match, because this is one of the biggest matches on the card, and now it's gone. And now it's setting in limbo of what's going to happen with Rollins. If he doesn't participate, it's the first time since 2014 that he hasn't been at a SummerSlam or some ridiculous stat like that. So I think it's crazy that they took it off week of. Next headline, gentlemen. Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett have said that now with Vince out of the picture, a return to Connecticut could happen. Do you think we're going to expect more of this with talent willing to make the return to WWE now that Vince is out of the picture?
I fully 100% believe, because it was weird to me that Cross never signed anywhere. Gargano was still in limbo. There was a lot of Triple H guys, very, very Triple H guys, that just didn't jump on that AEW train. And now it's making me go, yeah, they're going to pop up somewhere. They're going to come back. Well, see one come back, we're going to see a bunch come back.
The Gargano thing you think is something to bring up is he's got bookings this weekend in Nashville for Ric Flair's last match. After that, he has no bookings scheduled, which leads me to believe with the way WWE handles their bookings, since he's not taking any more independent bookings or any more appearances, he's going back to a WWE-style contract that's going to limit when and where he can be. And Sunday is his last appearance.
I never thought he was going anywhere anyway. To me, I've seen him a lot. I've met him a couple times. I've gone to, I don't even know how many times I've seen him wrestle because he's here in Ohio. His main goal, even when he talked, his main goal has always been WWE. So to me he's a lifer, kind of like Kevin Owens ended up being, which I called that as well. I never saw him going anywhere else. I just didn't just how he exited, how just literally how everything went. And the fact that we haven't really seen him. He's had a few little spots here and there, but for the most part, he hasn't done shit. So to me, that means he was coming back. He always planned to come back, and he will be back. I think he was just trying to maybe get some rest. I mean, because let's be honest, he was carrying NXT for what, 3-4 fucking years, all the big matches. So I think he was just trying to spend some time with his new family, rest up, and then like I said, now the King is returning, so he got to bring the squad with him.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, last headline. According to the Sportster, no free shout-outs to the day job, TK recently said that with Vince out, AEW is really open to the idea of a Forbidden Door pay-per-view style event between WWE, AEW. How optimistic should we be, and do we think this is ever going to be a realistic thing for WWE to have a Forbidden Door pay-per-view with the next largest promotion in the world?
Yes, all because of Cody and because Triple H. Triple H is not scared of the indies. Triple H is not scared of propping out and reaching his hand out to other promotions, because he was an actual wrestler that went through the territories, that came up during that time where you had to bounce around to different places like you guys are doing to get your fucking name out there, to get your foot in the fucking door. So once he takes over and really takes over, I don't see there being we're not going to use the term Forbidden Door anymore. I think everything's going to be open and on the table. Maybe not some storyline shit people getting title changes or anything like that, but remember when they were first started doing those spot shows in Japan, that was only aired on the network and shit like that. The network is grossly underused. I think Triple H is gonna take advantage of that.
Peacock fucking sucks,
bro. The cock is garbage, bro.
Shit,
hate that shit.
Bobby in the chat says, of course the number 2 company wants to tag with number 1. It does not benefit WWE at all.
I don't think it happens. I don't think it ever happens.
You don't think so?
Yeah, not at all. For one reason only. McMahon is still in charge. Not Vince, but Stephanie. And they're not going to throw away every single thing that Vince has. And Tony Khan has talked way too much shit about the
He talks great.
Way too much shit about the McMahons. And he's going to want to put some of his AEW guys over. And I just don't see that conversation going down of AEW guys going over WWE guys.
Agreed. All right, gentlemen, this is where we get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation. Did we lose PJ?
I hear you. I think.
Oh, there you are. Okay, you're back.
Hey,
Okay, cool. This is the meat and potatoes of the conversation. It's our Mount Rushmore of people of color in professional wrestling. So it's 4 people that we think have been the most influential for people of color inside the world of professional wrestling, gentlemen. So it's pretty straightforward, easy to go. RN, I'm going to let you tee off. Give us the first person on your list and why you picked them.
All right, hold on. My computer's acting shit.
You want me to roll with one of the other guys?
No, I got it. I picked Ron Simmons as my first person.
Nice. Any particular reason why?
First black world champion. I mean, that's a big thing. Like I know his accolades kind of after that weren't so much. I mean, besides like character work stuff or whatever, not so much really like in the ring. Besides like his tag team title runs with Bradshaw, but like being the first black anything, you got to be on the fucking Mount Rushmore. You just got to be.
Agreed. He was also on my list for similar reasons. First African-American champion. I think it's also important to look at what he did with Doom when he was with Butch Reed in the 80s in the territories. They were both making good, solid runs. I don't feel like there was really a Jannetty in that situation when him and Butch Reed split up. It was just one of those unfortunate situations where he was having to compete with the fact that he was going to be behind Ron Simmons, who turned out to be the first African-American world champion. You know, it was just when your best friend is the best to do it at that point, like it sucks to have to be number 2 to him. But I also feel like when you do look at his character work and him being a leader in the locker room and everything that continued after he got the world championship, when he was in the APA and when he went through all the different versions of who he was as Farouk when he was leading the Nation of Domination, and then he went out of there and he went through all of the different characters. No matter who Ron Simmons was or what version of him he was, he always seems to be a leader in some form or fashion. So that's why I agree too. He was on my list as well. PJ?
My first guy that I'm putting on my list is The Rock. Just the accolades is there. I mean, he was just that guy, man. He transcended the business. I feel like he took promos to a whole nother level. I feel like they only associated great promos with guys like Ric Flair and Dusty, the white guy. And Rock took that and was like, no, we all can do it. We all can talk on this mic. We can all grab the attention of the fans. And he just elevated the business. And him becoming a movie star and coming back and giving back, Rock was a no-brainer for me.
Boujii?
Yeah, so the first guy for me is and this is really more so because I met him when I was in Florida. I met Ron Simmons personally, and I had watched. I think it was with Stone Cold. I believe he had the Broken Skull sessions, right? I think it was that he did with him, and just now that I'm older, I'm 25 now, and I was fortunate enough. We both were fortunate enough to work with Shane Taylor and Shane Taylor Promotions, and just seeing like what they're going through, and you know everyone's calling their name out, and just how they're not there and all that type of stuff, bro. Is absolutely wild. So seeing Ron's story and meet him, and I have like kind of like a sense of pride, like as a black young man and as a black performer too. So him being the first black world champion, and then seeing that kid run down like 3 rows and start fucking jumping and hopping and shit like that, it was like, damn, like that's crazy. So like a lot of that type of stuff is starting to stick out to me more in terms of like how I want to be remembered and like what my legacy is going to be. So I gotta look at guys like that, you know, to see like what they went through. So I'm starting to like dig deeper into that, but definitely because he was the first, like,
Right.
Can't go wrong with that.
Agreed. Absolutely. RN, next.
My second guy was The Rock for everything PJ said. Like, I think his contributions on the mic is way outweigh anything he ever fucking did in the ring. And even though he was bomb in the fucking ring too. And then on top of that, leaving, coming back, still looking like he never fucking left. And then now being the biggest movie star in the fucking world and the highest paid actor in the world. Like,
Crazy.
What the fuck is that? Like, how can he not be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Like, if you're in wrestling and you ain't looking up to The Rock and his accomplishments and what he did and what he turned his wrestling career into, like, you fucking up, bro.
Let me ask you guys a question about The Rock. When he first came into the scene in '96, he was that shiny, smiley, babyface character. When he got the IC title initially, he had that. He took it from Triple H, and during that match, there was a lot of booing against him. They did not want him to win, to the point that they took the title from him less than a month later. When he came back, he did the heel turn. He went under Farouk, and when he came back as the loudmouth heel that eventually became The Rock, do you think that it has to be one or the other? Can you be a smiley babyface and still be over, and can you be the hard ass shit talking Rock and still get over? Is there any room in between, or does it have to be one or the other?
Let me kind of switch his question up a little bit. Why do smiley niggas never work in wrestling as babyfaces?
That's why I had you come on the show.
That's what he
RN.
really wanted
That's
to say.
why I had you come on the show. RN.
Like Lashley. Like, it doesn't work. Like, I don't like it at all. Like, no nigga is that happy. They're just not. Like, yes, we can be happy. Yes, we can smile, but no black man is walking around like that in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate smiley nigga. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it literally makes my fucking flesh crawl. It feels like some shit from like a Jordan Peele movie or some shit, bro. Like, help me understand why it just doesn't work and why it doesn't come across or connect on the TV as a person of color.
It doesn't get over because of exactly what you just said. It's not authentic.
Yeah.
No one walks outside and is like, hey, woohoo!
What?
Like, no one does that. And when you're forced to do that, it comes off very awkward because a lot of guys don't want to do that. And like you look at me, like I posted my Instagram, the entrance I had from No Ring Fight. I'm smiling like a motherfucker. I'm happy as hell, but the crowd's feeling me. Like, I'm with it. I'm with the crowd. We smiling because we New York, we gritty, we angry as hell. We know we're about to fight. Like, we're about to get into some shit. Like, there's a way to, I think you can use it, but you need some of that badass behind you.
Right.
You need some of that, like, this guy has a switch, so he could come in smiling because he's smiling because he's like, he know what he's about to do. I'm just happy to be here, guy.
Yeah.
That's just not authentic for nobody. No one's happy to be there.
Thank you. I keep saying that. Like, they kind of look at me like I'm bugging. Like you, I didn't want to pull the race card, but it's like
first came out. You have a great smile, Paulo.
like, no, bro. Like, no black man walks around that fucking happy and smiling ear to ear, unless it's in the Jordan Peele movie.
I think that a lot of the biggest thing to it, other than it being not authentic, is that it's very one-dimensional, where you're being put in to have to go out there happy-go-lucky, you know, smiling ear to ear, all this type of stuff. So, like, yeah, like that there, bro. So the let's go is just like the default for babyface, like, in wrestling. So, like, for me personally, like, when I was a face, when I first started it, I hated it, bro. Like, I can't be that happy jumping in. Like, my theme song was Jump Around. Hated it. I hated that shit, bro. And it's like, it wasn't me. So whenever I finally did figure out what I want to do with Boujii and stuff, and PJ and I was talking, like, you're gonna hear us a lot. Like, PJ and I, we talk a lot. Like, we throw ideas back and forth to each other, and we try to make sure like we're on top of our game. And he was like, yo, bro, like, be you. Like, you gotta be like, because everybody knows I love Pop Smoke. That's it's unfortunate that he had to die, but that was like my favorite rapper, like, out now. It's like, bro, you gotta be like the Pop Smoke of wrestling. You gotta bring that energy. You gotta be cocky. You gotta do this and that. And it's like,
and I guess I'm glad it's two wrestling, and that's like my catch-22 with it, is that we feel and we come across more as heels because that's just our personalities. We are loud, we're boisterous, we're confident in our fucking selves. A lot of us don't give a fuck what anyone says or think, and like that, it kind of makes me feel bad that's the only way we get across as being authentic is when we're heels. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but I think, bro, I think that's just more like the edge and like the grit, like for us,
because
like,
where we come from and what we
exactly,
do, you
bro.
know
Like we're heels. We get cheered every time we come out.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, me, Boujii knows this at heart. Every company I walk into, PJ Savage, you're a heel. You're a monster. You're the bad guy. You're gonna be body, and we're gonna build up a baby face to go over. Yeah, okay, I'm cool. I'm fine. But Boujii knows I'm a babyface. He knows it 100% because I fight for the admiration of the fan. I'm from New York. I know how hard it is to win over a New York fan. We all been in the Garden. You got to be gritty. You got to have respect. You got to put your life on the line. You got to give everything to this business to earn the respect of a fan. And when you start getting that respect, you don't lose it. So a lot of those fans, we come out. I remember our last show. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. The guy before us came out, and it was just crickets.
Nah. For real. Like all jokes aside, bro.
I'm not exaggerating. And the crowd was hot all night.
All night.
Damn.
The promoter came out back to me and was like, "Papi, that's not the crowd." But then the moment my sirens hit,
bro,
and we were the bad guys. We won every match by cheating. But we had the crowd split, and it's just one of those things where it's like, and another thing that goes into it too, they see talent. So when you see talent, you go, "Oh, okay, I like this guy."
And that's what I will give fans for credit nowadays. It's like, it doesn't matter, even if if they put a shitty gimmick on you, like if they recognize talent, they still will cheer you, even though they know you're fucking saddled with some bullshit. They still will cheer you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Get you past
it. Number one. The fans are number one. Those are the people you got to get the respect. If you don't make that crowd go crazy, you don't raise the volume. When you walk back through our curtain, that was your fault. That's not the promoter's fault. That's no one's fault. I've been at shows, and Boujii knows we've been at shows with 6 to 8 people in the crowd. But when we was out there, that shit sounded like it was 100.
I'm gonna have to come fuck with y'all for sure.
All right, gentlemen. Next off my list, I picked Sweet Georgia Brown. Sweet Georgia Brown, she was trained by the infamous duo of Fabulous Moolah and Buddy Lee. Brown, she was a force to be reckoned with on 2 fronts. She was speed and agile, but she also was super duper strong. Think Bianca before we knew it was possible to be Bianca. You know what I mean? She was ahead of the curve in a lot of those ways. She was groundbreaking by being a woman and a champion, but she was also being the first African-American women's champion, even before Ron Simmons. You know, we're going back to the 60s now for this. She was kind of like the women's wrestling's Jackie Robinson in a lot of ways. When she first broke onto the scene and was first able to start wrestling, there weren't a whole lot of African-American women on the scene at that point, especially not wrestling for Moolah. So when she came onto the scene and started winning territory titles and regional titles, she was the first woman to do that was African-American. So that's why I picked her for a lot of the same reasons I picked Ron Simmons. And the sad part about it is a lot of people don't know Sweet Georgia Brown's history. They don't know a lot about the story and about what happened with her. And there's so much more to what she did besides just what we hear on Dark Side of the Moon. Or Dark Side of the Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring,
yeah, I got Pink Floyd on my brain. Dark Side of the Ring. There's so much more to her story than that. And when you hear about the terrible things that Moolah did, but then you think about the fact that even if it wasn't for those terrible things, we would have never seen a Sweet Georgia Brown. She would have never been able to make it if it wasn't for Moolah. So I'm not giving her any props for that, but I do give Sweet Georgia Brown all the props for being the first African-American woman to win a major title in the sport of professional wrestling. That's why she made my Mount Rushmore of people of color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Next on my list is Booker T. Five time.
Fuck that nigga, bro.
Now, you know what it is about Booker for me, man? I always looked at a top guy, especially in WWE when we was growing up, was the Shawn Michaels, the Bret Harts, who started out in the tag team. You paid your dues, and then you got the mid-card title, and then you worked your way up. Booker T was the first person of color I saw go through all of those.
Right.
I watched him physically go through every step of tag team champion, United States champion, heavyweight champion, then come into WWE and be forced to go to the bottom of the ladder and come back up and actually make a great career for himself. So that's why I put him on my list. Like I can't remember everything he did.
Kind of where I was coming from. Like I didn't do any older people like my man Will did, because I wanted to do people that, like, to me, influenced me when I was old enough. And then, like, the reason why I left Booker T off was strictly because of who he has become the last 10 years. But, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I'm diehard Booker. I was diehard Booker T. Like, my mom worked for Time Warner, so, like, honestly, I didn't watch much WWE. Like, I came up watching fucking WCW Saturday night on TBS and shit like that. Now I got all the WCW pay-per-views for free because my mother worked for Time Warner. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I wasn't a WWE guy till like 1998, 99 when I went looking for the Attitude Era shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, I left him off strictly because he's a hating ass nigga. But my third person on my list, my third person is Rey Mysterio.
Whoa, you got to skip. You skip Bougie. You got to wait your turn, RN.
Oh, I thought it was I didn't know what was going in, bro. My bad.
No, Bougie gets his second turn, then you get to go. You're next.
Oh, he did the second one. Yeah, my bad, bro.
Be patient, man. It's coming. Bougie, you're up. I'm sorry for my inappropriate co-host.
It's good.
I got on the roll. My bad, Joe.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say The Rock. Definitely when it comes from like microphone, like mic skills wise, like he would say some really like outrageous stuff, but the delivery was so fire, bro. And it's like The Rock really said whatever came to his mind, you know. And I feel like he was a person that he brought, at least for me, it connected with me better when I seen that he brought like different elements from like outside stuff and put it into his character, and that would made him be so creative. It's like even for me, whenever I'm thinking about being like a certain type of asshole-ish, type of heelish, type of promo I need to do, or if I want to just kind of like sun you like slickly, I'm gonna throw on some Rock. You feel me? I'm gonna talk to you like with that type of cadence. I'm gonna try to deliver it that way. So when it comes to definitely like just talking crazy, Rock, like you gotta put.
All right, you're up.
Oh, it's my turn now. My bad, Joe.
No, you're good. Now it's your turn. Thank you for using your empathy.
I pick Rey Mysterio because I mean, to me, he is. When you think of like lucha libre and like Mexican wrestling, especially people our age, Rey Mysterio is front and center in everyone's mind. And I didn't know anything about AAA or any of that shit till I seen Rey Mysterio on the first Nitro, and it made me go look to see what the hell Mexican wrestling was. And that's Rey Mysterio is really who got my tape trading days. What got me started with that was seeing him for the first time on Nitro or whatever. So like to me, like as another person of color, like everything he's done for like 20 years already in WWE, plus the 10 or 15 he had in WCW and the independents before that. So it's just like I couldn't. I don't see how you can make any type of like even a whole wrestling around Mount Rushmore, not just the people of color. Like for Mexican wrestling, for Mexican people, like he's top. Like I said, I wouldn't know anything about lucha libre or any of that shit, like AAA or nothing. Like if I hadn't seen Rey Mysterio for the first time, so he's third on my list.
I have to completely agree with just about everything you said. When it was looking at the luchador side of it, it came down to two guys for me. I'm going to give Ray his roses now, though, before I tell you the next person on my list. I completely agree. I think Ray is the best wrestler to ever wear a mask. I think if it wasn't for Rey Mysterio for a long time, Lucha Libre wouldn't have gotten over as much as it did. I completely agree. I think when 94 happened and they did the WCW AAA pay-per-view, the Clash of the Worlds or whatever, when Worlds Collide, yeah, in 1994, I feel like that broke a lot of grounds for Lucha Libre and stuff with AAA. So I agree. I definitely see why Ray made your list. Coming off next on mine, however, is a guy who went to CMLL. He was a champion. He went to AAA. He was a champion. He went to ECW. He was a Hall of Famer and a champion. He went to New Japan. He won Best of the Super Juniors in 1992. He went to WCW. He broke Lucha Libre onto the mainstream while solidifying himself as one of the smoothest talkers in wrestling history. And he was a champion. Then when he got the WWE, he finished molding himself into a world champion and solidifying himself as the best pound for pound Lucha Libre wrestler to ever do it. And that is Eddie Guerrero. I think one of the things he did better than Ray was he's a better talker than Rey Mysterio was. And I feel like that's the one thing he does just a little bit better than Ray is Eddie is one of those guys that could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves and then make her mad that she let him do it. You know what I mean? He was just that kind of bad. And I love that about Eddie Guerrero. So that's why he made my list. PJ?
Third on my list, my grandmother got me into wrestling, so I was like heavy into the old school wrestling. Like I used to watch all the old tapes, and there was one guy that always popped up on my TV, man. That was Junkyard Dog. He has to go on my list. Like he was an out of this world character. I remember when I first saw him, I made them go down to Toys R Us to get me the wrestling figure. I needed it. Like I had to have it. They hardly moved. They were little square ones, the Mattel ones. But like he was a real influence on me. Like just watching him be out there with the dog collar and be a character. He wasn't afraid to be loud and boastful and get the reactions and just put everything he had out there. I love Junkyard Dog, man. The little headbutt he did. As a kid, he made me go crazy. As a kid watching the product when I was growing up, he was a person I loved to see on the TV. Whenever he came out, started doing that, I would go crazy. So Junkyard Dog is definitely on my list. He's the third person on my list.
That puts us to Boujii. You're up.
I'm gonna probably end up having an honorable mention, but I'm gonna say Bobby Lashley right now, just because with what Lashley did with the. It's still very early in his career though, but I remember Lashley's like first run. I love Lashley. Like I legitimately remember when he debuted, bro. Like I remember having the PSP and downloading his ECW theme at one point on there, bro. Because I ain't have nothing else going on LimeWire looking for it. But just from what he's done as like how he left and came back, and he went through the same shit I told you earlier, where you have to sit through some shit, and he sat through that Lana storyline. He made it work, started the Hurt Business, and I was actually watching Table for Three last night. But I think the biggest thing for me is that he was and it's not a knock like the Kofi, but he was a respected WWE champion. Like they was like you wasn't fucking with Lashley. Like during his run, you was looking like nah, like he's gonna keep that title. You feel me? And then for him to have multiple reigns as it too, he was a 2-time champion, right? I think he won it. I think he did win it twice. Yeah,
2-time.
Yeah, he's a 2-time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And just like to not have to be the happy-go-lucky, not to fucking bend over and slap his ass, do all that weird shit he was doing, bro. And then we personally met him as well, too. Like, we worked to show him. PJ had his last independent match before he returned after WrestleMania. So, like, we've had conversation with him. And him and PJ talk a lot more, but just sharing that same atmosphere and that presence with him and then seeing where he's at now, it just shows me that it's like really within reach. Like, we could really, like, put our hand out there and it's right there, bro. So I think just him like putting that respect on it, like putting that respect as a black WWE champion too. So definitely I put him in there.
The breaking up of the Hurt Business like literally hurt my heart more than anything I've experienced in the last like 4 or 5 years of wrestling.
100%.
Bro, and then another thing to that too, where it's like I was watching the Table for Three, where it was like he said something where it's like he was like, you could fake it till you make it, but dress like a star. And that's what the Hurt Business did. They was in suits every week. He was like, we went from what we did for not being compared to the nation, we never acknowledged it. So people was comparing us to Evolution, the Four Horsemen, all this type of stuff. And it's like, that right there, that's a different type of thinking. And
my shit too, like if he had really got like, he was on, I think he was on Cheap Heat talking about like the plans they actually had for the Hurt Business, how it would be like a revolving door of young stars and older stars. Like if they had got a chance to like really flesh that out, like I still cry about that. And of course they broke up literally the week my Hurt Business shirt came in. So it was like shit buried down at the bottom of the bin, bro.
I'd still wear that shit every day.
Oh, I still wear it, but I mean it's I wear it around the house and cry and shit. You know what I'm saying?
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Puts us back to you, RN.
This one is kind of probably gonna be like a little weird. Well, not weird. I don't know. I picked Keiji Muto. Cause like I was trying to do a little bit of everything. Like I didn't want to just be all black people. Cause then, I mean, I always played a black race card anyway. So I was trying to add a little bit of everybody in there. But no, I put Keiji Muto. Cause like, again, like with Ray, like I did not know that Japanese wrestling was a thing until first it was NWO versus the world. And then when I saw him with the red face paint, doing a hurricane run off the top world, misting people and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Best moonsault ever, bro.
Ever. And then Chono coming over and them joining the NWO and the NWO Japan and all that. And I was like, yo, what? Like, I was bugging when I found out about New Japan for the first time and shit. So, like, I definitely got, and I didn't even realize it then, but I didn't know he's like one of the 3 pillars of modern Japan wrestling on top of all of that. And he's one of only 4 people to hold every major championship in Japan. And he started GHC. So it's just, I mean, like, not only is it Mount Rushmore person of color, maybe again, like of wrestling and all, if we include all wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely Keiji Muto for me.
Rounding out my 4, I've got Junkyard Dog as well. A lot of ways coming up through the territory, especially in the South, he was always over everywhere he went. He was a groundbreaker in a lot of ways for WWE in a sense that they didn't have a Ron Simmons or some of these guys, so they were using him towards the end of the 80s with that. I also feel like Junkyard Dog was able to transcend the necessity of a title. JYD was bigger than the belt in a lot of ways. And I think that's important to remember is like he didn't necessarily feel like he had to have a belt for him to be over with the crowd or be he didn't need the championship. And I feel like that's important for him. If there wasn't a Junkyard Dog, then there wouldn't have been a Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? There wouldn't have been some of these guys. So that's why he's on my list and rounds out my top 4.
The last person I had some trouble with this one. Like, I wanted to put Ray on it. I wanted to put Eddie on it. There's a bunch of Bobby. Like, I wanted to put Bobby on it. Xavier Woods is a person I want to put on my list. I feel like his mindset alone deserves to be on a list like that. But I had to put somebody on this list I feel like no one would ever put on this list, and I have so much respect for him. And that's R-Truth, Ron Killings.
That's a killer pick. Absolutely is.
He was one of the first. I think he was the first Black NWA heavyweight champion.
Yep,
he was.
The longevity alone of his just career, going from NWA to TNA to WWF to WCW back to WWE, and just having the career he had, even though he turned into a comedy gimmick at the end of his career with Little Jimmy, but he was still on TV. He was still over like that.
What are you saying was? You saying that like past tense, like he still ain't on.
Right. That's the crazy part. Man is still on TV. He's still on TV. He's a 100-time 24/7 champion. He put that belt on the map. Like, you gotta be honest, man. You gotta be honest. And just to be a person of color and to have that longevity is inspiring. I've told Boujii this all the time. I've heard in podcasts. I've heard in interviews. Wrestlers, I heard from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins himself said, if you get to WWE or you get into any locker room, you follow the top guy. You listen, you follow his movements, you look at everything he does. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go there and I'm going to watch Roman like a hawk. But whenever Roman goes to take a piss, I'm going to look for R-Truth and be like, yo, Truth, drop some dimes. Let me know, how do I last? How do I stay? How do I keep the longevity? How do I keep it going? And
I just turned the corner on R-Truth, like, because of what y'all said, like, just thinking about, like, I did start thinking about that, like the comedy shit. Like, I hate the shucking and jiving shit, but like, my man's on TV he's on TV more than the champions are most weeks. Like, me taking a step back, like saying that we don't have no black people on TV, blah, blah, blah. Like, this man is always on TV. It does not matter what he's doing. Yep. That nigga's on every episode. He's the longest reigning TV champ, bro. I don't think he's missed a Raw in 5-6 years, bro. Like that's something. Like, eventually people come around and get past the comedy shit and just give him flowers for what it is. Like, the man that got that. If you want to talk about over, that nigga got over. He got over. He on TV every week, bro. Like, that shit still amazes me. He comes out and makes us laugh, makes the boys laugh, everything. Like. And he's on TV every week. Like, it's of all the people, bro, R-Truth is on TV every week, bro.
Yeah. And
crazy.
If you watch TNA, R-Truth, Ron,
dog
in the ring. He was a beast. He got a little fucked up when he had that K-Quick gimmick. It just wasn't
right.
The Road Dogg stuff. I think Road just being a white rapper, it threw off what K-Quick could have been.
Right.
But in the ring, he was nasty, bro. He was nasty. The spins, the flare kicks, like, he was nasty in the ring. He was impressive. He was one of the few people, if you watched him in the ring, you would go, holy shit, that guy can work. And I got to put him on my list. I had to.
Boujii, you're up. Number 4.
Kind of torn between these two dudes. Damn, I do gotta choose one. So, all right, my first choice was gonna be Booker T. Just because obviously what he's done, the longevity. He looks at this business as a business. Like, that's a man who's gonna tell you, like, he's gonna keep it raw, he's gonna keep it real with you, and I respect that. But I'm gonna probably go with Mark Henry, bro.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
I'm gonna go with Mark Henry. Just same thing, like he from the whole sexual chocolate shit, just everything he did, and like I didn't appreciate it, but like the Hall of Pain, like when he beat Orton for the title, bro, that was crazy. Like looking back at it now, like what Mark Henry did, like it's fire, bro. And I feel like so like for me, I was kind of like I don't know, kind of like oblivious to a lot of it. You know, I love Stone Cold. That was like my favorite wrestler. That is my favorite wrestler ever. You know, you used to seeing what you see, and then when you see something odd or different, like a black male at the top or a black female at the top, it gets a little like, oh shit, wow, like you don't really appreciate it at that point. But I'm gonna definitely say Mark Henry because that Hall of Pain was different, bro.
I didn't really have an appreciation for him till that last documentary they did that came out like I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, and I got to see they talked about when he got shipped to like the dungeon and shit. And
oh yeah, that's what started for me too, bro. Yeah,
OVW and all that. Like I'm like, damn, I didn't realize my man really did all of that just to get back on TV and like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit, like I felt a lot better about it.
They don't show you that, bro. So it's like we don't appreciate. Like, oh, all right, whatever. Like, okay.
Well, also we didn't have a dirt sheet in the internet back then where we would know that they sent them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was some dirt sheets, but it wasn't no like you wasn't getting no real stuff. It was like sensationalized shit. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that he was like he's like, no, he went and lived with the Hearts, bro. Like that shit is crazy. That blew my mind. This big ass black dude in Canada, bro, watching the little kids and shit, bro. Like he you know what I'm saying? Like he babysitting the nieces and nephews and shit. Like that shit blew my mind. Like, but that was him. Like, nah, I want to take this shit serious. Like, who else is gonna get me there? Like, why not go to the dungeon? You know what I'm saying? Like. And that made me look at his career and look at his accomplishments and take him a little not take him more serious, but like you said, like respect him and appreciate like the shit we got to see and like the journey he took to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like they should do that a lot more, showing these people, especially the people of color, like show us that struggle, show us what they went to. So like maybe you can inspire other people of color, guys like y'all, like young guys like y'all that want to wrestle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like give people that behind the scenes shit that look like us. You know what I'm saying? We got all that shit with Flair and Dusty and all them motherfuckers. Like give some people of color those moments too. Right. So we can see people like us struggling.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Give us that. We don't need that next in line shit, bro.
Right.
RN. Bobby wants to know if you're upset that Mark Henry had a chance to babysit your girl Natty.
I wish you had rolled over and smothered her ass or something like while they was napping.
Yeah.
She's the most worthless person. Like, I don't like to talk shit about wrestlers and shit because my fat ass can't do it. But, bro, she is the most worthless fucking – like, bro, I bring this up every time and I will never forget this. They put her in – did y'all catch any of those A&E documentaries they did on, like, the WWE stars?
Yeah, I've been watching them, yeah.
Bro, they put her in the Macho Man one because she swam at their pool one time when she was 5 years old.
Look at his face.
Bro. Like, what the fuck is she even there for? Like, because she swam at their pool when she was 5 years old with her dad.
This is also the same documentary where Hogan said he was the reason why all the wrestlers moved to Tampa. Like, let's not forget that. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't. Like, it's just, yeah, all the great things.
Natty is live, laugh, if live, laugh, love was a person.
I don't even know where to go from that, RN. You absolutely right, though. You absolutely right. She's also in the Bella ones, according to Alison. She was in the Bella's bio as well.
All of them. That's my point. She's in all of them. I'm not even making this up because I hate her. Go back and watch all of them. She is literally in every single fucking one. Single one.
I think she in the trailer for the Undertaker one too.
That's what I'm telling you, bro. Like I watched, bro. She's in every single one. Everyone. Swear to God.
We're an hour and 10 minutes into the episode, and it took Bobby that long to reference Hulk Hogan. He said he moved to Tampa for Hogan.
Yeah,
that's my old co-host. He packed up and moved across the country to Florida, then packed up a second time and moved to Texas, and now he's talking about moving back to Tennessee for some fucking reason. He's wild. Gentlemen, this is my favorite part of the episode because I don't have to say anything. All I do is sit here and ask y'all to plug your stuff. PJ, I'm going to start with you. Plug everything you got going on, what's coming up, and what you got going on.
PJ Savage _ everything. That's me. Every social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, follow me on everything. ProWrestlingTees.com/BJ Savage. We got some new merch dropping in next week. A new episode of Savage Season is dropping tomorrow. It's on YouTube. Go check them out. They're always funny,
I got some clips.
crazy. Yeah. That's basically all I got going on.
Boujii.
Let's see. What do I have going on? I'm gonna be at BCW this Saturday. I get to face the Rev Ron Hut's right hand man, AJ Alexander. So I'm gonna kick his ass. Then I'm gonna go pop on Rev later on that night just because I want to. So
I forgot we wrestled too.
Yeah. But other than that, man, we chilling right now. Right now we're kind of just getting set for the next like 5 months left in this year. We're getting ready all the way up to the end of the year. It's J Boujii everywhere. The letter J, not J-A-Y, the letter J, Boujii. Just type that in. Your boy's there. Get some merch. I got 2 dogs, very expensive. Also, I'm dropping another music project within the next 2 weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And that's about it, man.
All right, and what's going on over at Mean Jelly Bean in the kennel?
Honey, you said dogs. Because that's what I do. I breed dogs.
I got a pit too, bro.
Oh, no, this said she a pocket bully.
Oh,
This is my girl, Sushi Roll.
Sushi Roll?
You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. No, I breed, what'd you say?
She was about to bite the microphone.
Oh, yeah, she's crazy. No, I breed Frenchies, bullies, French Mastiffs, toy poodles, and we got some other shit coming too. But follow us on YouTube. Me and Jelly Bean Productions, like I do music and shit too, bro. But we do funny shit like comedy stuff. Like I'll send y'all the link to the last video we did for my man's diaper party. We all dressed up like dads and shit, bro. It's clowning, but yeah, Me and Jelly Bean Productions on YouTube. Me and Jelly Bean Meets on Facebook. Mr. 8984 on Twitter. ARA 8984 on IG. Like I said, Route 4 Kennels. Look us up. Like I said, we got your puppies anytime you need it. That's it.
Always make sure you follow Just a Girl 918. She is the boss bitch of Botch Bots and Share Shots and the brains and all the operations for the Smack Raw Podcast Network. Follow Kai Tai. He is the leader of the Smack Raw Podcast Network over at Kai Tai Shows. Follow the Smack Raw Pod. But now, as we close another episode of Botch Bots and Share Shots, I want to take a minute and thank you for listening. Remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google. Literally, you have all the options. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me how great I am or how terrible I sound. Either way, it helps the algorithm. It helps me find new listeners. If you're feeling really generous and be one of the VIP people, head over to patreon.com and donate to the Smacked Raw Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some cool guests. It's a win-win. For PJ Savage, J Boujii, and my brother RON, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.
Yes, sir. God bless.